Hi everyone, and welcome to today's episode, the premiere episode of Rotting Shadows. Before we go around and say hello to this wonderful cast around this table today, please take a moment to check out the following things. And thank you very much, Durza Black, who has donated the first advantage in the pot for us to use. First person who wants to use an advantage, there is one sitting in the middle of the table waiting for us to grab. Check out our social links. We have Discord, Twitter, and YouTube. Discord, come and be a part of the community. Twitter, send me a DM. I'll get you a game. And YouTube, you can go and catch up on all the other shows. Also, check out our sponsors, The Deck of Many. The Deck of Many Things is a donation reward tonight. We've upped the price after the craziness of last season. In fact, we've upped the prices on everything after the craziness of last season. Y'all are crazy. Also, we're doing a Humblewood campaign with them. You can catch that on Thursdays at 6 p.m. Next, check out Mage Hand Press. You can find their campaign tomorrow at 6 p.m. in Downside Up. You might have just seen a sneak peek of the poster, which is entirely what I was intending to do. It's going to be great. Their Dark Matter is now available at your local game store if they use Diamond Comic Publishing. I think that's the name of the place. Go and ask for it. Go and ask for it. They can now order it in, so you can get it delivered to your thing in the place. There we go. Thank you very much, Sphinx, for donating that gift sub to Joshua Barbeau. Hey, Josh. Good to see you in chat. Also, check out Hero Forge for all of your miniature needs. They just had a hugely successful Kickstarter, something like 6,000% funded for colored minis. Honestly, they look amazing, and I may twist some arms and get some of our players from this week to create some characters too. Let's go round and say hello to everyone. Now, Ray, would you like me to introduce everyone and then come to you, or would you like to start us off and then introduce everyone?
We could start with V. That's cool, and then we'll go to all the players.
Okay.
Hey, I'm Ray. I'm with the Brick almost everywhere on the internet, and I will be your dungeon master for this awesome adventure that we're gonna go on, and I'm really excited about it. But yeah, so I think we'll start with Riddler, if I'm going in the right direction.
All right. I'm Riddler. You can call me Devel or D or whatever suits you. You can find me on Twitter at @It'sTheRiddler. I am a voice actor and musician, and I have been so excited to play this. You can ask any of my friends. I have not shut up about it for about 2 weeks, so I am very ready to play with these wonderful people. Hearts to all.
Yeah, so shall we hop next around the screen to Alex?
Oh, I guess that would be me. Hi, I'm Madam Gandalf, and I'm ready to play my first ever tiefling character that I created recently, and also my first ever bard. I've never played a bard, which, considering I love singing and D&D is kind of ridiculous that I have not done this yet. So I'm ready to live my extra life and finally give a relevant huge charisma bonus to my character, not an irrelevant one. Because I always give my characters every single time big charisma.
Sounds like such a compensation for something. Like, I'm not going to give them an irrelevant charisma bonus. Oh, wow.
Just, I judge people with their irrelevant charisma, even though I do it myself.
Next around the screen, we welcome Panita. Hi, Anita. How you doing?
Hi, everybody. I'm Panita. You can find me on the internet at Panita in most places. I'm very excited to be here. I'm playing a cleric. I don't play clerics very often. I'm very excited.
Fair. I, too, am pretty excited. Because I had a terrible idea during a recent charity stream, and I decided to extend it out to an entire character concept. So I'm playing a very, very squishy wizard. Barry Knight. Whose accent will be determined in the next 5 minutes between now and whenever he first needs to speak.
Same.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm excited. I can't wait. I'm waiting for it.
Well, without much further ado,
Okay.
Ray.
Okay. Well, here we go. Everyone's ready.
Huzzah.
Huzzah.
And we dive in. In most cases, beginnings aren't true beginnings, but rather a point picked in the midst of it all that we feel serves as a good point to begin. But unlike most cases, this story begs to begin at the true start, the beginning of time on Marir itself. It all began with a sibling pair. There was Paramis, the one who brings light, and her brother Dalgus, the one who brings dark. Cast away from all their powerful parents in the astral plane, the two found themselves fallen on the material realm. With a vow to never separate, the two decided to use their otherworldly knowledge and power to create their own world, a place where they could work in tandem to keep it sacred and balanced always. The two worked as one to shape the world we know as Marir today. Together they shaped 4 continents, the first being Naofa, or also known as the First Land. Paramis and Dalgus lived on the land of Naofa for many sun cycles before beginning the other 3. And it is in this time that they both molded and bestowed all of creation onto its surface. The light in Paramis brought forth the most divine and breathtaking, while the chaos in Dalgus brought forth some of the most vile and hateful. And while this back and forth went on, it never did without the scales always being balanced, because for every light, there is equally a darkness. Once all was crafted, the two agreed to give some of their godliness unto the work their hands created. Some were lucky enough to be imbued with the power, gifts to commune with the gods themselves, while others were given the art, arcane skills that were laced into the absolute core of their being. These first gifts then gave birth over time to the schools of magic known throughout all lands today. The sibling pair stood in awe of their craft and the bountiful fruits that came from their labor of love. And over the course of time, the land was cultivated to provide all that could call Naofa home. Cities were built and homes were raised. Political systems were forged and figureheads came and went. And no matter the course of history, all was balanced. Paramis and Dalgus made absolute certain that it was just that, always balanced. And now here, sun cycle after sun cycle for many cycles, we zoom in on a ship sailing the Nora tides outside the continent of Naofa. For 2 weeks, the ship has been journeying to the continent with passengers hoping for something new, something challenging, or perhaps something even life-changing. The crew outweighs the 4 passengers easily, and beyond the wind and sea, you can hear the chattering of one sailor to another, betting the last of their coins on dice gambles before they reach port. The captain mans the wheel, his burly chest displayed proudly with scars and adorned with necklaces and charms of all shapes and sizes. His rat familiar precariously perched on his shoulder, keeping a keen eye out for any food scraps lying about. The day is beautiful, The breeze is even, and the sun shines brightly overhead. No clouds stain the blue visage overhead, and you could swear for a moment the sky is so clear you just might be able to see what might lie beyond. And as we go around the ship, where would we find each of our characters? I'm going to start with Barry. Barry, where would we find you in this nice, beautiful, breezy mid-morning on the ship?
Well, Barry would be probably somewhere up on deck. He quite enjoys the sun. If there's anyone around to entertain, he'll be near them. As he is at heart an entertainer.
I have an inkling Eva will probably be like strumming or tooting a tune or two, probably doing what she can to get whatever bit of getting cramped in a space of being on like a ship for a long time. Once she's seen it all and it loses that excitement. So she's now fixated on like, I have to last to get off the ship. I have to last to get off the ship. I have to last to get off the ship kind of thing. We just keep playing for my sanity. Yeah.
And
So
as you are playing this, what kind of beat is it? Is it like fast tempoed? Does your frustration show in your playing?
No, it's more that you can see her kind of almost plucking more, like she looks bored, despite the fact that this is frazzling her. Boredom is not something she's used to. So it is more of a maybe she's tuning now and then before doing like a little ding 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 ding.
And what are we looking at? What do our characters kind of look like?
So I guess walking up to Eva, you see this rather pale blue, a very pasty pale blue tiefling with long, tall horns as opposed to curled close and around, as well as this long tail. And she's dressed rather casually. She kind of would fit in probably amongst a lot of the merchants and people on board the ship a bit, with her very loose, blousy clothes and her pantaloons, her tan pantaloons and leather shoes. And freckles, lots of freckles, with a long, dark blue scar that kind of spreads out like coral that goes down the back of her shoulder and down one arm. But what do I see when I see Barry?
Barry is a reasonably tall, not gigantic, but quite tall tabaxi. They have mottled yellow fur, and their coat seems to be in good condition. Their nose is wet, their eyes yellow and slitted. Their clothes, they clearly understand complementary colors, because their clothes are like purples that offset the yellow of their fur. It's purples and blues that offset the different dapples. It's quite nice. And they are of course wearing their tall hat as well, because wizard needs to be denoted by hat.
Obviously.
Of course.
I've got horns, you've got a hat. At least we both have H problems.
And as chat is pointing out, yes, I am the Scratticus who is a catechus in a hatticus.
Goodness. Cassandra is probably also above deck. She's probably near the railing, sort of looking out across the Nora tides, I think you said?
Yes,
Probably
the Nora
just
tides.
looking out across the water as they go, every once in a while, like taking a peek at the entertainers, as she's come to call them in her own head, and just watching, not doing too much fantastical. When you see Cassandra, there's this she's fairly tall for a human woman. She stands at about 6'1", There's lots of definition to the muscles that you can see underneath the armor that she never seems to take off. There's a long, jagged, almost like pale red scar across most of the neck. And the hair is a platinum blonde that hangs to just past her shoulders. And outside of that, that would be what you notice mostly. Oh, she also has these sort of glittering yellow eyes that probably look somewhat like berries in some ways.
And sitting at the far end of the deck is a rather nicely dressed elven man, bit of pince-nez glasses, has a book open on his lap, occasionally flipping through, and then stopping and putting the book back in his bag and pulling out another book. And he seems to be pulling out more books than you think should fit into that bag, and just intently reading. Not necessarily, the music is entertaining, but not necessarily his, not necessarily something
Forte.
that he's, yeah. But he's got long silver hair, kind of a bit like Elrond vis-a-vis Anthony Stewart Head. Very bookish. And he's just flipping through the book, minding his own business.
Beautiful, beautiful. And as you all meander about the ship, doing your various tasks that you are doing, it is not long before you hear the crew starting to speak up and shout about at one another. "We're crusting into the bay, prepare to reach port," the captain shouts from behind the wheel. Various crew members begin to run about the ship for its arrival and start to take down the sails and tie up the masts and all of those ship terms that I'm probably butchering at the moment. And as you look over the railing, as you're approaching the city, because Cassandra, you would definitely see this first because everyone else is kind of busy, but as you approach the city, you are almost taken aback immediately by how stunning and large it is. Dozens of shops line the dock that stretches a long way on either side, both left and right. As you can see, as far as your eyes can take you, there are just shops and houses and boats and tons of things going on. And as you start to crest closer, you all stop and, you kind of are all taken aback by just how large and looming everything seems to be. And the docks themselves, you see, are wooden, and they quickly transition into white and red stone to form sturdy and reliable walkways along the water. And as you are approaching, there are 5 extremely large ship docks, and in between each of those are 2 smaller docks for slightly smaller sailing vessels. Perched besides each of the main large docks is a pulley system for cargo that is too heavy for the crews to lift themselves. So it's a big, massive scene of just all this wooden ships and pulley systems and cargo being lifted and all these people. And you're not even close to port yet, but you can hear just how loud and how busy and how hectic it is. And while you soak up all the happenings before you, the crew and the captain pull the vessel you've called home after about 10-15 minutes or so, pull it into port. And you are in the second section of smaller docks. And as the ship is tied and the gangplank lowered, you are all free to go about onto the land.
Finally.
Well, I don't know about all of you friends, but I'm quite excited to check out all of the locals and see how much they really know about magic.
Planning to con your way into the bed for a night?
Dare you, sir? No, I'll entertain some fine innkeep, and I'm sure they'll give me bed and board so long as they're not too wary of magic users. Maybe we should get a gauge on that before we get too far.
Yeah, and you suddenly see Eva lift kind of like her stuff over her shoulder, which is basically probably just a bunch of different instrument and proppy sort of things. They're like, yeah, if you're gonna want to get into a tavern though, you might want to get rid of the, the pointy hat thing. It kind of gives away the little thing,
I mean, they don't know about magic here, do they? So I should be okay, I would have thought. No one Just pointy hat, maybe some strange continental fashion.
They know about magic here. It's just a matter of certain magics being outlawed or frowned upon.
And even if they didn't, that hat's kind of screams wizard one way or another.
Just a little bit.
Wait, they know about magic here?
Oh, certainly.
It's hard to miss magic. It's kind of everywhere.
It's just they're a little bit persnickety around certain schools of magic, as it were.
Not unrightfully so.
As they have every right to be.
Well, I'm sure this won't be a problem. We can still make a lot of gold.
Eva comes right close up to your face and she just starts to touch the like rim of your hat. And she's going to cast Prestidigitation and change its color from looking that very wonderfully witchy, wizardy color to something a little bit more pastel-y. Maybe a nice coral looking color. Like no wizard is going to be wearing that one.
Oh.
To be honest, it kind of clashes, though, at this point.
And it'll only last for a little bit.
Fair enough.
Shall
Enough
we?
for us to gauge
Well,
what people think of it. On top
I
of the
have a
head.
library to get to.
Are we all off the ship at this point, or are we talking on the deck still?
I think we're walking and talking.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as we're walking and talking, why don't we first do the first rolls of the night and do some perception checks as you're all kind of getting off the gangplank and standing on the little dock and walking up to where now there are a ton of things happening.
These checks determine our fate for the next 16 weeks, you guys.
Do we get lost or not?
Okay.
And
okay,
I'm
okay, cool.
feeling good.
Yes. So great rolls. All right. So you all, as you're kind of walking and talking, you are like in the midst of your conversations, doing double takes and just kind of like people are rushing past you. But as people are rushing past, you are catching the glimpse of the most exotic humanoids you have ever seen. Some hybrid exotic creatures. You see elephant people, you see alligator people, you see fish people, you see like all different types of races of creatures, some that you have probably never even seen before. This is the most eclectic group of people that you all have probably been around in your entire lives.
Eva looks like a kid in a candy shop at this point, seeing all the wonderful, like, different people. If there was ever a people watcher amongst my characters, Eva's definitely one of them. She finds everybody weird and wonderful.
Yeah, and as you're walking and talking, you see crew hands and deck hands, you see ship captains, you see harbor masters, because there are multitudes that need to help out with just how massive and large and looming this area is. So you're walking past and you just see everybody kind of pushing you away because you're all kind of like rubbernecking around and just, in the moment, encapsulated in all of your feelings from being in this completely brand new place. You're kind of getting pushed around and it's a little uncomfortable, and you make your way up to like a little alcove where it's between, not in an alleyway, but you find yourselves kind of like in a standstill of the crowd, and you can breathe for a moment. And around you are, at the moment, just an array of shops. You're close to the fish market end of the docks at this point, where it's more of the fruits and veggies and the fish and meats. If you continue going to the right, that is where that will take you. And to your left, you see a bunch of other types of shops. You see little hanging signs with weaponry signs. You see little magic potion bottles. You see boots and hats and coats and all these different sort of shops that go down further to the left.
I'm going to look for a library or a good bookstore.
Okay. You got with that perception check, you will see not a too far down, but at least 7 or 8 shops down, you do see a little hanging sign that has a book on it that you surmise is a bookshop.
All right. I'll go inside.
All right, and let me get my. You end up walking into the Iron Burden, and you walk in, and as you immediately walk inside, it is almost off-putting because it doesn't look like a bookstore, but it is a bookstore. But all of the bookcases are made of like fancy iron and these fancy metal, like almost pieces of art that they all kind of sit precariously on. And the shopkeeper is in the back left. It's not a terribly large bookstore, but they are in the back left of the corner, just kind of sitting there. And they go, "Hello."
Greetings. Excellent. Yes, I am Finny. I'm fresh off the boat. I was hoping to peruse your wares a little bit. Maybe looking for books on local lore, local legends.
Alrighty. You said your name was Finny, huh?
Finny, yes.
All right. Hi, my name is Mar. Nice to meet you. He goes to shake your hand.
Excellent to meet you, Mar.
So lore. I mean, are you looking for like local legends and mystical creature things, or are you just looking for like?
Well,
lore?
My area of expertise is more on the divine. So I was hoping to, obviously, the First Lands. Everyone hears about them. I was hoping to peruse your stores for something a little bit more less well known than the standard legends.
All right. I know what you're here for. You're here for the good stuff. And he you see him step down now, and it's a halfling man, grayish beard, like buzz cut, but he's wearing like a nice fitted news cap at the moment. And he kind of gets down and he's dressed in just nice little tailored outfit. It's not too fancy, but it's not a poor man's outfit by any means. So he looks like he knows what he's doing. And he kind of hops down from his little stoop and walks around to you and goes to the right of where he is. So close to the right corner of the bookstore. And he gets out a stool, like one of those rolly stools. And he kind of pulls it over, he steps up to it, and on the very top shelf, almost the very last book in that corner, he kind of, hobbles on one foot for a minute, grabs the book, gets down off the ladder and, dusts it off and gives it to you. And the title of the book just says, "The Tales of Naofa." And he says, I think this might be what you're looking for. I mean, as far as the divine sort of lore, I mean, this might be all I got. I could definitely check in the back for you, but this might be a good place to start.
Certainly. That is most kind of you. How much would this book happen to run me?
No, it's been in here forever. I'll let it go for 3 silver.
Excellent. I seem to be a bit light on cash. Would you happen to take trade?
What do you got to trade?
Oh, I have plenty of books.
Oh, okay. What kind of books do you deal in?
Also lore related, generally divine. And I pull out a stack of books that I'm willing to part with.
Kind of flips through them. Takes them off one by one, thumbs through a couple of them. I'll take that one. He just picks up the third book, whatever third
choice.
book it is. So
yeah, that one.
Yeah, I think that's a fair enough trade. It seems to be he inspects the book. Seems to be worth 3 silver. I'll just let it go.
Thank you, sir, and I'll load the rest back into the bag of holding.
Perfect. And while this is going on, what is everybody else doing?
Cass will lean down to Ava or Eva?
Eva, whatever.
Okay.
Rolls off
She
the tongue
will
easier.
lean down she will lean down to Ava and say, is this the most excited he's been since we've known him? Like just watching Finny sort of like trade and see books and be very engaged in things.
And Eva's gonna look Finn up and down. Just like, friends in books can never leave you.
What are you, fortune cookie?
Sometimes.
Cassandra will have a half smile across her face. Has Barry gotten arrested yet?
Yeah, I was just about to ask, what is Barry up to?
Well, you know, Barry's coin purse is also feeling a little bit light. I mean, street tumbling can't be illegal, can it?
You can certainly try.
So yeah, I'd
You
like
mean to say
Permit?
uh
that there's dexterity to that. There's dexterity to this.
Are you
Not-
attempting to tumble in the streets, Barry?
not exactly. When I say street tumbling, of course Barry means magically. Barry's gonna take random items from around the place and like just gather them around him and set fire to them all. So they're all burning around him. There'll be like perhaps a book burning there, a jug burning there where the water is burning on top, and something else, something small, perhaps a dish or something that he pulled from a pot. He's gonna like take the dish and like slide the fire down his gullet and let out a large burp, and as he does, there's a gout of flame that comes out of his mouth.
Can you roll me a performance check to see what type of crowd you gather around you right now?
Oh boy.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, immediately, like, everybody in the vicinity is just in absolute awe. They are living for this just random entertainment. They have never seen something so precarious but so insane at the same time. They are cheering you on. Couple little kids kind of like run up close and like push through the parents' legs and like kind of like, oh my goodness. And a couple people you see like are throwing silver pieces at you at the moment. You're giving them a show.
I'm gonna take that book, which is burning, and it's gonna be like completely covered in flames now, and be like, oh no, and throw it towards the kids. But when they catch it, there's no fire.
Yeah. So one of the little girls actually like kind of stumbles and catches the book and goes like kind of throws it, tosses it like it's hot, and then like it lands in her hands, and she's just like.
Yeah, all the pages
And
intact.
shows it to one of the little boys, and then the little boy freaks out and he's like, oh! Like you have blown these children's minds at this point.
At this point, I will take off my beloved wizard's hat and put it on the floor in front of me.
All right. I'm actually gonna roll to see how many coins you get.
Amazing. Is this a routine that Barry has done for the ship before?
He would have definitely done the water jug before. He hasn't done that yet, but the jug is one of the tricks that you all will recognize. What he does is he lets it be on fire and then pours water out of it while it's still on fire.
Right.
You get 6 gold pieces and 4 silver pieces in your hand.
Wow.
I'll take that.
And then
That's a lot of
everybody
books.
claps once you're finished, and kind of go about. Some of the kids, kind of like linger for a moment, hoping that there's something else, and then parents are kind of like, no, let's go, and they get pushed along. All right. And where is
Cass will sort of
Cassandra
do,
at this
like-
moment?
She's probably at the threshold into the shop, just sort of like watching out through the window, watching Barry, hearing the noise gather outside the general area of the shop.
Okay. So Eva and Cassandra are outside watching. Vinny, when you come out from the shop, that's what you see. You see Barry performing and everyone kind of freaking out, and then it starts to die down very quickly. And it's not before long until you start hearing some weird commotion down on the right part of the docks from where you came from. You start hearing some shouting and rustling and what you think may be creaking.
Eva's gonna definitely immediately scroll off to chaos.
Oof. Here we go.
And as
Cassandra will follow after.
Okay, yeah. And as you are approaching, you see that all of a sudden there are like at least 20 ship crewsmen, like crew dock members that are working, that are trying to get this massive cargo piece from the dock onto a ship. And you see that it is bowing the crane pulley mechanism system, and it looks like it is about to break and fall.
Can we see one of the officials?
Yeah, at the moment there's like 2 of the harbor masters. There's about 20 other crewsmen that are trying to like stand under it and maneuver it, and then some of them are like, no, hold on, and then like trying to lower the pulley, but it's like at this precarious point where if it goes down it can snap, or if it keeps going it can snap, and it doesn't look like it has much time. Is anybody gonna do anything?
Pull out my popcorn.
I'm gonna go up to one of the officials and be that guy. Hey there! You alright?
Obviously not. Can you get... Excuse me, I'm terribly busy. This is gonna break in any second, and I don't want anybody to get hurt. Can you step back? Can everybody please move back?
You should have used a bigger crane.
No kidding. This is the biggest crane that we had. That's why we're trying to use this one. Oof. And as he says that and turns around, you hear it, ding, 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 ding. And then the crate falls. How close is everybody to this?
I'm a little bit back.
In terms of like feet wise, like from where the crowd is, how far back are you?
I'd be about 30 feet back from the crowd.
Okay.
Cass is right behind Ava, so.
Okay. Where's Ava?
She probably pushed to the front to get a good view.
Okay, so I'm gonna need Barry, Ava, and Cassandra to make me dexterity saving throws. To see how
Oh my god, my dice are on fire tonight.
They
Oh
are.
my goodness.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh. Can't say the same for myself.
Alrighty. And Ava, you do take 5 points of splinter damage from not being able to roll out of this as quick as you had hoped. And as it falls and crashes, splintered wood goes everywhere. The sound is insane. You are surprised that nobody got hurt in this ordeal. But as you kind of get up, and even Barry and Cassandra, you two are both like, you got out of the way in time, but you're still shaken. The noise was so loud, and it kind of like sent this shockwave out, and now everybody's panicking because nobody knew what happened. That actually roll me a perception check, Barry and Cassandra.
Okay.
It had to come down at some point.
Yeah, it did.
Cassandra, you see it first, and Barry, as you're kind of getting up and dusting yourself off and grabbing your hat and adjusting it, you both turn around, and Cassandra, like I said, you see it first, but there is something that was inside that crate. And you lock eyes with it. And it is a displacer beast.
Oh,
I need everybody to roll initiative.
Okay then.
Why? I used all my good rolls. Why?
And Cassandra, with that perception, you will see as you lock eyes with this displacer beast before it kind of gets itself right, you notice that there's something not right with it. That it's
Oh joy.
not a normal black colored like a sleek panther. You all are adventurers. You've seen many of these in your studies and maybe even out on the road, but this one does not look normal by any means. The color is off. Part of its face is missing, and there's something weird and slimy kind of oozing off of it.
That kind of thing would definitely make Cass in particular, like the hair on her arms, stand up a little bit with her background and such. All right, awesome, great, we love this.
We love this. We love this. And in all the midst of this chaos, Cassandra, you go first. What are you doing?
Okay. Cassandra will sort of like the whole expression dowers, and she will draw her very pristine rapier that she keeps on her side. And as she draws it out, she will nick herself on the hand, and I'll use my bonus action to activate my Rite of the Storm.
Hey.
Huzzah. So
Huzzah.
I have to roll a d6. Okay, so I'll lose 1 HP. Awesome.
Nice.
And then I will just... Cass is just gonna leap at the thing. And take 2 stabs at it.
Hey, okay. Those both hit. Those both hit. So we'll deal with the crit first.
Okay.
You want to roll that damage for the crit and we can double it?
What's that?
Doubles it for you.
16
My
plus 4.
goodness.
That's
Oh, it does
20
double it for
points
you.
of damage total
All right.
on the first one, and then the second strike is 12 more points of damage.
Okay. Cool. Alrighty. So yeah, you kind of lay into it, and as you lay into it, its eyes kind of flare up, and it just sinks its like sight into you as it rears out, and you see its tentacles kind of get in this precarious mode, and it gets in a low crouch.
Oh,
Up
boy.
next is Finny.
Oh, I'm going to move up a little bit so that I can get a clear view, but I think I might be fighting through a crowd.
Yes. So you said you were about 30 feet away?
Yes.
It'll be difficult terrain for you to get to them, and they are the 30 feet from you.
Okay. Barring that, I will cast. Can I get a clear? Can I see the? Can I see through the crowd, or is it just too?
Well, how tall are you?
About 6 feet.
Yeah, at 6 foot, you can get a good line of sight enough to see it if you are trying to make a ranged attack.
All right. Well, I am going to cast as my bonus action, spiritual weapon.
Cool.
And it can make an attack immediately.
Cool.
Okay. Just at second level. Okay, that's a 23 to hit.
Does hit.
And I just need to figure out how to do this because I haven't actually played D&D using this system.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome indeed. But the damage?
Yes.
So where the roll is output, you want to click on the word spiritual weapon.
Okay. Yes. And submit. There we go. 6 force damage.
Cool. Awesome. So as you do that, you take out your spiritual weapon. What does your spiritual weapon look like?
This one, there is a sort of smell of cardamom in the air, and it takes the form of a whip.
Ooh,
Like a-
okay.
It's sort of a radiant glowing lash, and it whips out and does the 6 force damage.
Awesome. Yeah. So as your divine whip kind of floats in the air above it, it lashes down and creates like this sonic wave and creates that force damage. And it like you see the impact kind of ripple through the beast, and as it ripples through, like you see some of that slime that seems to be like oozing from it kind of like get whipped off, and a couple of the bystanders get like splashed in the face, and they're like screaming, like just running around with this like now black ook all over them. It's kind of a gross scene. Next we have Eva.
Ghastly.
Eva having like picked all of the you are totally right, Scrat. I got that wrong.
What?
After having picked all the splinters out from like that which she was kind of covered in, she is like kind of mad, and you're gonna hear a little bit of a like a growl kind of escape her. Almost if you could see like steam coming out, you would also see like that through the nostrils kind of moment of anger. And she's going to point right at this little thing, and she'll cast True Strike.
Perfect.
Because I don't think there's any visual to that. I think it's pretty much I just look like I'm just like.
Yeah.
Really.
Do you have to roll to hit with True Strike, or is that an auto damage?
I think it's it's concentration, so it's just you point and it's happening.
Cool.
And there's no damage. Basically, I just get advantage on my first attack roll against it.
Okay, so that was your action?
Yeah.
Anything bonus? Anything else?
She will start moving closer towards it. Loot.
Cool.
Primed.
Cool. And next is the beast itself. So the beast is going to back up about 10 feet to get farther away because Cassandra hit it real hard and it is not happy. It's going to back up just a tiny bit, not out of your combat range, but just like another like 5 feet or so. And it is going to actually slash with its multi-attack tentacles, whack at Cassandra. And I'm rolling traditional dice. Wow. My rolls have been really crappy, so maybe I might switch to roll 20. But no, that's a 7 to hit both times, so I'm assuming that does not hit you, Cassandra.
No, she'll parry with the shield, just like bat them away.
Yeah, so as you can see, it's like being as close as you are to Cassandra, you see even with these strikes that they don't seem to be at its full capacity. There is something lethargic and wrong with this creature. And as such, just kind of like gangly reaches out with its tentacles on its back, and you, like you said, you bat them away super easily. There is no problem. And it is going to kind of get in a lower growly stance. And Barry, you are up next.
Barry strides forward a little way and stands proudly on the field. He's going to cast Alter Self as he grows higher than 5'10", up to about 6'5", a kind of displacer beast were tiger that growls and looks extra menacing.
Okay. Are you trying to intimidate this displacer beast?
Yes.
Okay. Can you roll me an intimidation?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So during this, you get through this, and after you kind of like lift and create this altered self version, the beast looks over at you, and you just see its eyes go wide, like almost comically wide, as it it lowers its jaw a little bit too. It's just like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, if you could talk to this beast, it would say, I am so sorry for stepping on your territory. How dare I even think this was appropriate?
Ruh-roh.
And it is successfully intimidated by you. If you would like to make, I won't let that be your action. Well, actually, no, alter self is an action. Do you have a bonus? Do you have any bonus action spells or anything? Because I'll let you cast them.
I will walk out of the Displacer Beast Were Tiger illusion and go and stand near Finn. Because indeed, I don't know Altered Self. That was a minor illusion.
I love it. I love it. And so as you walk around, you I imagine you kind of just like very simply just follow the crowd until you see Finny again.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect.
totally.
I love
Totally
it.
what
I'm
I'll
about
do.
it. I love it. And we're back in the top. Cassandra, you're toe to toe with this thing.
So,
What are you doing?
with what Cassandra knows from her blood hunter training, displacer beast, if I were to subdue this beast, would I be able to study it and tell what the differences are outside of what I can visually see? Like, would I be able to tell what's wrong with it? Do I know enough about the anatomy?
Why don't you roll me? You're trying to discern. Are you trying to discern if you would know anything medically about what's going on, or if you would know just like where it came from?
Not necessarily like trying to cure it or anything like
Okay.
that. But if I were to like just knock it unconscious and keep it alive, would I know enough about normal displacer beasts to be like, oh, this is weird, this is weird, this is weird, kind of?
Roll me. I'll have you roll me either history or medicine. I'll let you choose.
Let's do history because I am proficient.
Cool. Yeah.
13?
13? Yeah, I'll say that's enough that like you wouldn't know everything, but you feel confident in the knowledge that you know that if you subdued this beast to try and study it, you could figure at least something out. Something that you would be able to tell very clearly that is going on.
Okay. I will try and make these strikes non-lethal.
Okay.
As I will stabby stab.
The first one does not hit, but the second one does.
Fair enough. 18, that's 9 points of piercing damage.
Cool.
6 piercing through them.
Cool.
Are you communicating to the rest of the group that
I will shout out, something's wrong with it. I want to find out what. Don't kill him.
All right. And with that, Finny, you are next.
Hearing that, I will drop the spiritual weapon, and I will instead cast Detect Poison and Disease.
Perfect. Awesome. Are you close?
I'm going to start moving through the crowd. I'll move as close as I can so that I can see it. It should be within 30 feet of me.
Yeah, you are definitely within 30 feet. You pick up that this is a disease, that this is a diseased displacer beast, that there is something seriously, fundamentally wrong with it. It is not something that you feel like you can cure immediately. You're unaware of where the disease is from or how it is manifesting.
You are definitely correct in that assumption. We should probably try to subdue this beast. And I think that I'm going to hold my turn until the beast is subdued, or until actually no, that's going to just be my turn.
Okay, yeah, not a problem.
Yeah.
Cool. Alrighty. Next is Eva.
All right, I think Eva rushing on over, loot up, hearing that, they want this creature to kind of, be held. She'll go from initially going like give it a nice big whack with her loot. How big is it roughly?
It's large. It is it's about the size of like what a dire panther would be. It is larger than a normal cat, but it's not like terribly large. It is considered a large monstrosity, if I'm not mistaken, though.
Okay, I think Eva was a bit brash. She went running up to with her loot, kind of like ready to hit it, thinking initially it was much, much smaller than it was. So when she gets up close and it starts getting bigger,
it just like looks down at you and you can hear it growling.
And And then she'll cast hold. No, a whole person would only work on a person, wouldn't it? Not on a
Yeah,
creature.
you would need hold monster.
All right, then I am going to use knock to try and distract it.
Okay.
I love it.
What does knock do again?
I can choose an object within range. As long as it has a like lock, I can create this like what is it? No, in fact, never mind. Yes. A loud knock is heard from as far away as 300 feet from that object. So yeah, I'm going to just get it to almost be like, oh no, I am screwed. Oh, look at me, I gotta go. Like,
Absolutely. Okay, yeah. Let me roll to see if it gets distracted by or not. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It like in an like a moment as it has this intense stare off with you, and you just kind of like really quickly cast knock, and all of a sudden this big knocking sound comes from behind it. It kind of just like immediately like gives you a look, but then turns around and looks at it, and you have the ability to disengage from it if you would like.
Yeah, I'll move further away.
Yeah. And since it is distracted, it will not create an opportunity to attack. I will let you fly on that one, because that's actually really funny. I like that.
Awesome.
So yes, you are all out of the vicinity. I think Cassandra, you are the only one still engaged, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so, yeah.
Cool. Awesome. It is the beast's turn, and with that, it is actually going to continually move back, and it has like this like lanky way of moving. And even when it moves, you see like that oozing, that black ichor kind of still coming off of it. And Cassandra, if you want to make me a free perception check to see if you can catch anything else about this beast, I will let you do that.
Well, if it's free, how could I pass up?
All right. So
Can I use the advantage that's on the table to make that a natural 20?
DM discretion. Do we need to call them first, or are you happy for us to use them after the event?
Yeah, I mean, if you want, I'm fine either way.
That sounds like
So
a
if you
yes
wanna-
to me.
Yeah, if you want to use it, by all means. I have no preference whether it's before or after.
Yeah. If
Okay.
the rest of the people who have access to that resource are okay with me using it like this.
Yeah, cool. Okay, yeah. So with a natural 20, you kind of like, in the haze and the chaos of the situation, you kind of tap into your natural instincts, and you go a little primal for a second, and you sniff the air, and you look at this creature in its eyes, and you can tell that whatever this disease that has like come through its body, it is deteriorating this from the inside out. And you see bits of its flesh is literally getting eaten away on its face. And some of its like paws are starting to like become like gnarled and mangy, and you can see bits of the fur kind of clumping off with this black ichor. And the two big tentacles on its back have like moss growing on it, and they're gangly green, and its fur has this, it looks like an oil slick. It's not like a beautiful Black Panther coat. It looks like a dirty oil slick. And you are free to make your actions, bonus actions, anything you may like to do this turn.
Yeah, I will make 2 more non-lethal attacks, just trying to like knock it unconscious if I can, or I can roll absolutely awfully.
The 15 does
that
hit.
works as
The
well.
15 does hit. The first one does not, but the second one does.
It's 13 points of damage.
Okay, yeah, 13. And with that, you see it kind of now like sulking. You see it like that lethargic energy get heavier, and it's moving, and it's trying, and it's got this fire in its eyes, but its body is just not keeping up to where its brain is. And it is starting to look pretty not good. Pretty not good. And Barry, it is your, no. We were at Cassandra. It is Vinny's turn.
We actually skipped over me, I think.
Oh, did we? I'm so sorry. Oh, yeah, you were after the
I should be
Displacer Beast.
last.
Oh.
I'm after the
Retcon.
Displacer Beast.
Retcon.
It's okay. We can just chuck me in a turn here. That's fine.
Yeah, no, you're next.
I'll step forward, dropping the picture of I'm gonna drop concentration on my illusion, and call loudly so the crowd can hear, with a slight flourish of my cloak. Never fear, I shall cast Wall of Flame. And I'd like to major image, a wall of fire around Cassandra and the Displacer Beast. The advantage of major image is that you can actually feel the heat coming off the image, as well as
cool.
see it and hear it.
So there's no like damage. You can just feel the heat, correct?
Yeah. It's
Okay.
You can just about feel the heat. It's like, I think I haven't read the exact wording for a while, but it's something like it seems completely real, including sound, smells, and temperature appropriate to the thing depicted. You just can't create sufficient heat or cold to cause damage. So it's just hot enough to be like, oh, I'm surrounded by fire, but not so hot enough to be like, I've got 3rd-degree burns.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So you create this major illusion, and Cassandra, all of a sudden you see this wall of fire go around all of you, and now you are just like literally in this ring of fire death pit with this Displacer Beast that is, how big is the circle?
Just big enough to include the creature and
Okay.
Cassandra. So
Okay, so
tight.
it's like-
I don't want it to be able to move around.
It's like
and
10 feet.
yeah.
It's like 10 feet, and you are on one end, Cassandra, and 10 feet away from you is the Displacer Beast, like right up on the edges of it, and you feel the heat. Like you're not quite sure if it's real flame or not at this point, but you do feel the heat. And yeah, the Displacer Beast definitely thinks that it's real. So it's like kind of freaking out at the moment. You see its eyes darting from you to the wall, and then looking around like it does not know where to go, and it feels cornered. Anything else, Barry?
Nope. I think that'll be everything from Barry. He's gonna stand there. Can I appeal to the crowd as a bonus action?
Go ahead.
Great.
That is not the last time those words will be said.
No, absolutely not. Oh, your rolls are so good. Pardon the pun, but they are fire.
Hey.
I love it. All right, cool. So, real quick, what are you doing to get the crowd on your side?
I will cast the Ring of Flame and then turn towards the crowd and... Never fear! We are cunning adventurers from the main coast with the power of magic and music. And fire. And I'm gonna sneak a wink at any discerning individual nearby.
There's like an older woman who is like standing there just like in horror, and it doesn't know what's going on, but is there, and she's like, oh, and like you give her the wink and she goes, oh, like in terror, but still like really admirable towards you, and like doesn't know whether to like be annoyed by you or find comfort in the situation.
I mean, in this situation, I feel like I have to blow a kiss as well.
Absolutely, yeah. She like puts her hand on her cheek and she's like, oh.
Also, thank you. Thank you very much to Sphinx, who has donated an advantage to every single player, and also Durza, who has donated as well. I've just explained the pricing difference for this season after the finale craziness last season. But they also have 2 more advantages coming in somewhere.
Amazing. Thank you. And after your quick romance with the old elderly woman in the crowd, we'll bring it over to Finny. Finny, what are you up to? This beast is looking hurt. It does not look like it is knowing what it's doing at all. It is terrified. It is scared. How tall is the wall of flame? Very quickly, Barry. Like, is it a low or is it high?
Yeah, it's... do you know what? I think it might even... Because it's like a 10-foot circle, it might be like a... Almost looking like a swirling tornado. It's really high.
Okay. So
right,
yeah,
then.
Unfortunately, Finny, you just see this weird spinning fire tornado, and you're not really sure and you can't discern where Cassandra is versus where the displacer beast is at the moment.
All right, but I've also been on a boat with Barry for the past 2 weeks. So I'm a little bit wise to his antics. So I'm going to boldly step through the wall of fire and join
The
Cassandra.
gasps of the crowd.
To the gasps of the crowd.
My assistant, everyone! The great Finny!
And as you do boldly step into the wall, the tornado of fire, do you just walk straight, or are you walking in a certain direction?
I'm walking towards where I previously saw Cassandra, so I would be at her side.
Okay, perfect. So you do discern correctly, and you do walk into the fire, and you are right next to Cassandra. Cassandra, you look over, and all of a sudden, Finny is right next to you.
Oh. I thought it was an illusion. Okay.
And you are now 10 feet away from the displacer beast.
All right. I would like to potentially, DM Fiat, use my action to attempt animal handling to calm this beast.
Yeah, absolutely. What are you doing before you roll? What are you trying to do to calm this animal?
I'm going to make firm eye contact and just sort of do soothing motions and soothing noises.
Okay.
Just sort of gently approaching it.
I love it. All right, roll some animal handling. Oh, heck yes. Heckin' yes.
Ooh.
Heck to the
Okay.
yes.
So as you are,
The displacer beast disappeared.
yeah, it's like, and you see it like trying to do its displacement, and you like see it, like especially you, Finny, you would definitely see this. Like it is trying to do its like shift displacement, and it's catching itself. Like you can visually see that it is not with its body. Its body and its mind seem to be two different things. And as you walk close to it and you make that eye contact, and you start to make these like soothing purring noises, and like, yeah, you like get down real low and you're like, it's okay, I'm here for you. Like, you know, you start to calm and soothe the beast, and you do see it go from like this very predatory defensive stance to a little bit softer. It's not super like cuddly, turn over, pat my belly, but it is like much more calm. It looks at you, and it's looking at you with like a firm agreement at this moment that you two are in some sort of mutual feeling at the moment, some energy that you both share, and it is calm for the time being.
All right. We'd be like, okay, no sudden movements. I might be able to do something here.
Okay. Anything else? Your turn?
That's my turn.
Okay. And from Finny, we move to Eva.
So I think Eva was kind of running away, and then suddenly people were disappearing into flames and fire. And she's just kind of there like, oh no, like this is not good for the whole like no magic thing. But and she's going to I think she's going to run into the fire as well at this point, if possible.
My second assistant, the wonderful Eva!
Yeah. You run into the flame, and you were kind of like, because you weren't entirely sure which side was which, you kind of run right in the middle of them, and you kind of stop as soon as you get into like the threshold of the fire, and you see Cassandra to your right, and you see Finny kind of to your left front, who is like on all fours, like having this moment with the displacer beast.
I think
Cassandra will
Yeah,
turn
I
to
think-
Eva as soon as she walks in. She's still.
She'll kind of run to kind of be like by Cassandra at this point. Like Cassandra, Eva's kind of using Cassandra as like a bodyguard at this point. And so she'll actually cast Enhance Ability and use Bear's Endurance on Cassandra. So now you gain 2d6 temporary hit points, which are lost when
Oh
the spell
my.
ends.
Sounds awesome.
Perfect.
Would you like to roll those, or should I?
I think whenever you need to use them, you roll them then, I think. I have no idea.
All right.
Yeah, if you want, you can roll them.
There we go.
Perfect.
Sweet.
Perfect. All right. Is that the end of your turn, Eva?
Yes.
Cool. It is the beast's turn. And I'm going to roll a d4. On a 1 and a 2, it is going to stay subdued. On a 3 or a 4, it is going to try and escape. I got a 1. So it is going to continue to stay subdued. It is going to continue to stay in this commotion, locked eyes with you. It is not looking anywhere else. You kind of have it in this handled trance at the moment.
Okay.
So, Barry, you are next.
Have I seen any inns in town?
While you were on that small strip of all the stuff, you saw there was one of those wooden signs with all the arrows and just pictures, and you had discerned probably that there was a tavern in town, but you did not actually see any.
I wouldn't know a tavern name or anything like that. I'd
No,
like to
not at
step
this point.
close to the old woman and lean down and say, "I say, old crone, do you know of a
Hello?
good tavern in town where I can stay?"
I do, Sonny. It is called the Fish Hammock Inn. It is just up the way and around the corner. There's a little alleyway and the door's kind of hidden, but it's the nicest tavern in town. Everybody goes there.
I'd like to do try and do a little bit of sleight of hand
Okay.
and produce a coin from behind her ear, a silver penny.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. Roll me a sleight of hand for your magic check. For your magic trick check.
That's about right.
You do it, but you kind of fumble with the coin, and you're hoping that she didn't see it, but she kind of saw it, and she just gives you one of those looks like, "You'll get it someday. You'll get it someday." It was a good trick. That was a good
My
trick.
grandson's a very famous magician.
Yeah.
All right, no need for
Basically.
heckling, lady. Here's your coin. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll be staying at the Fish Hammock Inn for the one night only. Come along, see the show.
And you do
Eva
hear
will
some.
prestidigitate some sparks behind him to just kind of really emphasize the ta-da!
Love it. Yes.
Jazz hands.
So there's these prestidigitated fireworks behind you and a little pizzazz. You see some of the crowd has calmed down now because they see it's being taken care of in some respect. There's a giant flaming tornado on the dock. For all of intents and purposes, people think it's real. So you do get some people that are scary, clapping, and then they're walking backwards, just kind of trying to get the heck out of the area. The old woman that you gave the coin to is kind of scuttered off as well at the moment. The little kids that you gave the book to before are kind of around a barrel, and you see their parents running behind them, trying to find them and scoop them up again. And you got a couple people's attention. So if you do end up staying there, you may get some people who show up, but we'll just have to wait and see. And we are back to Cass.
Okay. Cassandra she'll put her shield on her back and start rifling through her alchemist supplies and produce a vial that she'll put on the ground and roll over to Finny. And she'll say, "See if you can get some of that sludge in there. I want to have a closer look at it." And outside of that, she will hold an attack action if the beast tries to attack Ava or Finny.
absolutely, yeah. And Finny.
All right. I'm going to reach into the bag of holding, and I'm going to pull out a hempen rope, and I'm going to attempt to tie this beast up. Now that I've sort of reached an understanding.
Okay. Are you trying to tie its paws? Are you trying to tie its mouth? How are you trying to tie this?
I was going to
beast?
try to muzzle it first, and then work my way. Just to sort of make it a little bit less of a threat.
Okay. I will have you, if you are cool with this, your action and your bonus action, I'll have you make 2 different checks to see how successful you do the muzzle. And if you fail the first check, the second check will also be to do the muzzle again.
Okay.
So it will kind of be like a succession to see how well you can completely tie up this animal.
Sounds good. What type of check?
Let's make it. You can either choose just a straight strength, or you can choose athletics. If you have like a proficiency in athletics.
I definitely do not. But I will try a strength check and see how well we go from there.
Cool.
You got this.
No, we don't.
Okay, so you could try again with your bonus action to muzzle it first.
Okay.
Or you do have an advantage. Oh, okay. The 14 does muzzle it.
Yes.
So with that turn, you do successfully muzzle the creature without any sort of issue. The first time, like, you attempt to try and get it, but it's a little scared, and you kind of go in and you do the calming emotion thing again. You still lock eyes.
Okay.
You talk to it the entire time, and you try one more time. And as you try that one more time, it kind of does give in to you just a tiny bit, and you are able to successfully muzzle the beast.
There we go.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's gonna be my turn.
Cool. And then Eva, we are back to you. I say for at least the moment we are out of like any dangerous initiative. So it is more so just we'll go through turns to see if there's any other actions you want to do to assist in this process, but we are kind of out of the combat initiative for at least this portion.
Yeah, I think to just help assist, Eva will cast Calm Emotions on the creature, of course, the Displacer Beast. And so basically now it's become it should become indifferent towards any people that it's hostile towards, but that ends if it is attacked or harmed by a spell, or if it witnesses any of its friends being harmed.
Perfect. Yeah. So at this moment it is muzzled successfully. It is laying there. You do, like Finny, since you are right there, you see it breathing laboriously. It is tired, it is lethargic, it is uncomfortable. And as Eva casts this spell on it, you do see that the breathing slows down. It becomes a lot calmer. It is like looking at you, not with such an intense look, but more so of a softer, gentle, reposed, and like a thank you. If you can understand, a displacer beast who is half rotting, you do kind of get that whole sense of like it is there at the time.
Thank you, Miss Umberball.
It's almost quite cute. And she will almost like go to like give it a little belly scratch sort of thing.
No, maybe not. Maybe not.
It it just kind of like wiggles, and like you hear it kind of like purr for a minute, and then it just stops and continues to breathe.
She'll like start to, basically kind of treat it like a toddler. She's obsessed with the fact that there's a creature here. She's like, oh, hello.
That cute creature could kill you without too much of a thought.
Barry, you can drop the wall of flame now.
Yes, I will. Barry walks towards the wall of flame, and as he pokes his head through to see what's going on in there, he's going to change the major illusion so that it covers him as he steps in, but makes it look like his body gets swirled around it and up.
And
illusions.
Yeah, as it drops, everybody who was in the vicinity that kind of just stayed around to make sure they knew what was going on and saw what had transpired. Kind of like everybody almost gasps when they see that the beast is still alive and that it's, you know, you're sitting in front of it with with like a homemade hempen muzzle on it and just like playing with it, because Eva's like playing with the beast at the moment, and everyone kind of is just like very off put, and some of them like go in to like say something but then like see the condition of the beast and prefer to not get involved and end up walking away. And the dock portion that you are kind of left on, granted it is a larger part of the dock, it is mostly just you all at the moment. A couple random crew members and dock hands are around to keep kind of doing what they were doing before, but in terms of like the crowd, they are trying to keep away from this area.
As I dropped it, I would have said to everyone in there, quickly strike a pose. Remind me, Ray, were we allowed to take a magic item?
Yes, you are all allowed to choose one
Perfect.
magic item.
This is the perfect time to reveal it. So as we all pose, my cloak billows.
Oh, goodness. Cassandra will have the most blank, just apathetic stare at Barry, not even at the crowd, just like, really?
Love it. And you all, who is striking a pose? Is it just Barry? It's just Barry striking a pose.
I think Eva will join in with a pose if she isn't still distracted by the
Yeah, you're like down by the beast, but you're still trying to like be vogue about
pose.
it.
She's like, yes!
I love it.
Finny will do like the least enthusiastic pose.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Like really weak jazz hands.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So the wall of fire is now gone, and you are all kind of sitting there with this beast on the ground. What are we gonna do? What are we all doing now?
Where was the person that was in charge of this?
Are you attempting to look for the harbor master to see what ship it was like belonging to and stuff?
Yes, certainly.
Okay.
This obviously belongs to someone. They would definitely want their cargo back.
Yeah, give me a perception check to see if you can suss out the harbor master.
Certainly.
While he's doing that, I will just scoop some of the sludge into a vial and start inspecting.
Yes, that would be prudent.
Perfect. And while you are looking around and while Cassandra is getting that vial, we'll actually take our break here. I feel like this is probably a good little place to take
Awesome.
a quick break before we start getting into the next little portion of the session. So
Sounds good.
Fantastic. Well, everyone, do as we do. Take advantage of this break. Grab a bio, grab a drink, do all the things that you need to do. And we will be back in 5 minutes. Catch you in a hot second.
We didn't die.
Oh, hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you had a great break. We certainly did. Let's dive straight back into it as we tame this displaced pet. I'll hand back over to Ray.
All right. So before we went on our break, Cassandra was trying to get a vial of the black ichor that is kind of oozing from this beast. And Finny made a perception check to look for, what was it again? The Harbor Master.
The Harbor Master, yes.
Yes. With that 22 perception, you do in fact find a man who is very nicely dressed. He's got a red coat on, looks almost like a captain's coat, but a little bit different. The buttons aren't as flashy, it's not as tailored nicely, but it does look presentable. He's got like a tricorn hat on, some pantaloons and some boots. He's carrying a ledger, so you kind of suss him out very quickly as, oh, he's probably the Harbor Master, and you walk right up to him.
Yes, hello, fine sir. I'm certain that you heard the commotion and probably saw quite a bit of it. Would you happen to know which ship that belonged to?
Are you talking about the one over there? And he like gestures like to where you all were standing.
Yes.
Let me check. And he like goes back in his ledger and like looks at the ship, kind of like cocks an eye for a second, trying to find the name of the ship on the side, and then like looks through his ledger again, and he goes, the ship was registered to Jurin Drotchet, but the cargo wasn't signed to him. It seems there was no signature, it was just to be put on the ship. So there's no ledger here about who the cargo belonged to, but at least the ship's captain, Jurin Drotchet, again, that's his ship. If you want to try and find him, I'm not even quite sure what the man looks like. There's so many captains around here.
Yes, thank you. Does this sort of thing normally happen?
Are you
Cargo.
talking about the fact that our pulley systems break and giant beasts fly out of cargo? No, this does not normally happen. And it's actually quite odd. It is quite odd. Those things are supposed to hold hundreds and hundreds of pounds. I don't know why it would have broken, or how it could have broken.
Excellent question. I thank you for your time, sir.
Of course, if you need anything, I will be that way. And he just starts like walking off, like reading his ledger.
Light be with you.
So, overhearing this, the cargo was for Jirachit, but instead of transporting it, they dropped it and left the entire docks in hot mess.
Yes.
Weird.
Seems a little suspect that the Harbor Master's not at all concerned with this.
I think that's just the apathy of capitalism. Can I can I make an alchemist check on this sludge that's in this vial?
Yeah, absolutely.
Usually has me query, is this going to be an intelligence-based check?
Yes, it will be.
Alright. Let's see here.
Wow.
Ugh.
Oof.
Yeah,
Oof.
oof. Unfortunately, so when you put it in the vial, it like has that slick oil look to it, where like you hold it up in the light and you twist it and turn it and you shake it a little, and when you shake it, it doesn't bubble. It like kind of just slides like a slime almost from tail to tail, and it swirls with bunches of colors. It kind of has like this sheen to it, but you've never seen anything like it. You honestly have no idea what this material could be.
I will grunt ambiguously and pocket the vial. You said captain's name was Jurin?
Jurin Drotchet, yes. I believe
Cassandra is...
did we happen to get the name of the ship?
The ship's name is the Traveling Suns Incorporated.
Traveling Suns.
Cassandra will just turn and start shouting to the pier, Jurin, you have a pickup. Just like start yelling, looking to see who turns to look back.
Yeah. I'm gonna have you roll for this, and I'm gonna personally give you advantage. Roll me a performance check with advantage.
Okay. Natural 20.
Oh,
Heck yes.
beautiful. So
Blowing
you
at you.
you must just know how to pick a person out of a crowd, because as soon as you turn around and scream, Jaren, you have a package, like all of a sudden there is a crew, like a shipmate, like this little gangly human man comes running by, and he's like, oh, are you looking for Jaren?
Yes.
He's on his ship. He's in his quarters. He hasn't left all day.
Cass is already off. She's just
Cool.
like headed straight there.
Cool.
I'm going to follow Cass.
Yeah. And as you follow, it is right next to, so like there is the main dock that it is docked to, and this happened like on the separate one right next to it where the crane is to try and hoist it onto the separate ship. So you run around to the other side of where the ship is, and you see that it has the gangplank open, and the gangplank is open. There's nobody really milling about the ship. There's like one or two people that are kind of just like variously tidying things up, getting ropes to where they need to be, getting things to where they need to be. But it seems like the ship is pretty well docked. It doesn't seem to be moving anytime soon.
So
And
was
you
it being
go
loaded?
Oh.
Sorry. Was it being loaded onto the ship or off of the ship?
onto.
Interesting.
Yes.
But there's no one here that would have been in charge of loading.
He told you that nobody had signed for the package to say that it needed to be shipped. It was just supposed to be put on the ship, and there was no name attached to who
So
left
they
it.
hadn't
Yeah.
accepted the package yet.
They had not,
It was
yeah, they
just
had not
left there
accepted
for
it. It was in the middle of being transported on there, and then in the fray, it kind of all got discombobulated, and they never got the person's name who was trying to load it onto the ship.
Curious. All right. I think we'll go on the ship and find one of the deckhands and say, "Is your captain about?"
Oh, he's in the quarters. He hasn't really got out all day. You could go check over there if you want to, but you might want to knock really loud. He's a little hard of hearing.
Excellent. Yeah, I'll go and I'll bang on the door as loud as I can.
Finny,
Okay.
you take Eva with you. She's personable.
Ah.
I'm gonna take a look around this ship.
Miss Umbermore, shall we?
Sort of like,
As you're all like walking away, then I'm like, hang on a minute. Does that mean I'm on kitty duty?
Well,
They like it when you scritch behind the ears and that little soft spot.
I'm sure you're a wonderful cat, Dad.
just lots of pets behind the ears. It likes behind the ears. And
So Barry-
as she walks away with Finn, you will be a complete like head over the shoulder. Can't see around the corner anymore.
Barry, are you on kitty duty?
What's the kitty doing?
It's just laying there. How long is calm emotions a concentration, or does it last for a certain period of time?
I don't know.
Good question.
I
Yeah.
think calm emotions
think-
is kind of like a reset. And
Okay,
unless something
yeah.
makes it hostile again, it is
Fair.
just now different.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
no, then it's just still laying there. It's still pretty, like, it's not lethargically breathing like it was in the battle, but it is calm. It almost has fallen asleep at this point. It's just kind of like laying there and hoping that, like, as soon as Finny starts to walk away, it does kind of prop its head up and look a little confused, but then, kind of trust in the situation because it is being saved and not killed. And it's going to kind of somber back, and it's just laying there. It's still just hanging out.
I'm gonna take like 2 steps away from it. Does it do anything?
It looks in your direction. It gives you like those big cat eyes about where are you going?
I respond with big cat eyes.
And it kind of like puts its head back down. You hear it just like, it's not looking at you anymore, but it's purring softly. You can tell that it feels comfortable from one cat species to another cat species. You can read it very well. But it is calm and it feels somewhat safe and contained at the moment.
Mumbling as if half to himself, Barry's gonna throw. I don't like falling into tropes. Damn it! This is ridiculous, and I'm gonna start making biscuits on his back.
Oh yes, you successfully. I'm not even gonna have you roll. From one cat to one cat, you are making the best little biscuits on this poor gangly displacer beast's back. And it is purring, and you two are having a nice little bonding session moment with this cat. And
let's not be mistaken. The cat is having a lovely bonding session. I'm grumbling begrudgingly the whole time I'm doing it.
There you go.
I can't believe
yeah.
I'm doing this. This is ridiculous.
Yes, and in those moments, you could swear that this displacer beast is becoming your friend. And while we switch on back, Finny banging on the door of the captain's quarters. At one point, you're banging for like a good 30-40 seconds of obnoxious banging before you hear, oh, okay, I'm coming, hold on. And you hear like somebody get up very fast, but too fast, and then stumbles, and you hear like some pots and stuff, like just like weird, obnoxious noises of things falling, and hear the scurry, the heavy boot falls up to the door, and he swings the doors open, and you see this looming man, at least 6 foot tall, pretty eye line to you, but just a tiny hair, taller, very large, looming, like husky man, and he's got like a wife beater on. It's stained in a couple places with like his pirate, like his captain's coat open. He's wearing his pantaloons and his boots, and he doesn't have a hat on, but you can see he's got like one of those weird balding patches in the front of his head, but he's got like long, straggly, curly, messy hair with like a dread or two kind of mixed in, and like a nice, like fit beard. It's not like a gangly beard, which kind of throws you off for a second. It's like a nice, like shaved beard. He looks a little handsome if he wasn't so like uncomfortably dressed and burly.
Just
But
kind of sleazy.
Yeah, he looks at you and says, "Oh, can I help you?"
Yes, Captain Trotchard, I presume.
That is me.
We seem to have a parcel that was due for your ship. However, the harbor master couldn't quite get a name on the person that it belonged to. There's a bit of a commotion outside, though I've been told that you're hard of hearing.
What?
Excellent.
He said he's afraid he knows you're hard of hearing.
Yes, that I am a little bit, yes. Lots of cannons over the years, but I can hear okay. You don't have to scream that loud.
Eva's gonna nod over to Finny like, yeah, like, I got you.
You said something about cargo.
Yes, slightly raised voice. There was a package that was due for your ship. Looks like it broke. The cargo got loose, and we have it out on the dock now. What would you like done with it? And perchance, who might it have belonged to? If that's not too much of an imposition.
Well, what was in the package? Normally we don't deal in cargo.
Interesting. Looks to be a displacer beast.
And he like starts like stroking his chin and like pulling at his hair, like very confused, and like gives you this look. Are you sure it was a displacer beast?
If you like, we still have it out on the dock. You can come and see for yourself.
Cute kitty, lots of claws and fangs, little
Kind of
things.
sick
He, like,
though.
Yeah, he starts to push past you and walk over to the railing onto where the other side of the dock is, where that pulley system was, and looks over and sees Barry making biscuits on the back of the displacer beast, and like looks back at you all and looks back at Barry and looks back at you all, strokes his chin again.
We have it subdued for the moment.
Well, I see that, which is very good. Thank you, for saving the dock. However, like I said, my ship does not deal in cargo.
Well,
We are
it
a
was
fishing vessel. I don't
interesting.
transport cargo, so I'm not even sure why the beast was to be put on my ship in the first place. I'm not quite sure I could help you beyond that. I'm actually quite curious myself. Maybe the harbor master got the ships wrong or something. But yeah, we are a trading vessel. My son and I go out, traveling sons. And he just like points to the side of the boat.
I would like to roll an insight check, if that's not too much. Do I believe
Yeah.
him?
Yeah, absolutely.
17.
Okay. So with the 17, you pick up tinges that it may be false, that maybe he has dealt in cargo for some sort of extra coin here and there, but he genuinely seems confused about this specific piece of cargo.
Fascinating. Are you certain? Usually, I mean, ships generally do what they must to survive. If the fish runs out, obviously you might switch to cargo here and there.
And he kind of like looks at you. He scratches his beard again. He walks past you into his quarters, and as he crosses the threshold, he doesn't even look at you, but he just kind of like waves you all in to come sit with him in his quarters.
All right.
Evil, yep, no hesitation.
Okay, Cassandra, are you following?
Cassandra will actually sort of try and split off from the group. I want to see if I can find any, like, anything contrary to what he said, like anything in the cargo hold. If not, I want to try and grab one of the dock hands, ask them a few questions. Awesome.
Yeah, what would you, we'll kind of mosey onto you while they are walking in and getting settled with him. What are you trying to do first? Are you trying to just kind of mosey around and see what you find, or are you trying to talk to a deckhand first?
Probably the first.
Okay,
just sort of like looking around.
Are you investigating or perceiving?
I would like investigation if possible.
Absolutely. And what are you specifically trying to look for? I know that you said like cargo and things like that, but like what are the key things that you were trying to look out for during this?
Just anything that would tip me off to that shouldn't be on a fishing vessel. You know, like if she finds like bread or, you know, like foodstuffs, she's not going to be too bothered by that. But like, you know, a cache of swords or something like that. Just
Yeah. So as you start to roam around the ship, you go down because, you know, you roam the top, and the top seems fairly normal. Fishing boat. It's got the nets, it's got the hooks, it's got all the accoutrement that it normally would for a fishing vessel. So you kind of start going below deck on the opposite side of where the captain's quarters is. There are 2 descending staircases to the lower decks. And you go down one of them, and you kind of bump into a deckhand who honestly doesn't pay you any mind, just thinks you are some other deckhand that's on the ship for some reason. And walking past him, and you do see a bunch of like little cabin doors. And out of the 4 cabin doors that you see, 2 of them are locked.
Just like squint and I don't really have a way to pick anything open. I feel like breaking the lock might be a bit much. Can I grab that deckhand that's sort of past me?
Yeah. So you turn around and you kind of call for the deckhand, and the deckhand turns around and says, "Hoi, can I help you? Are you on the ship?"
Yeah, sorry. I'm a new hire as we came into port here. I was wondering, what exactly does the captain keep in these little cabins? Just trying to get my bearings, first time at sea.
Oh, if only we all knew that, then we would definitely be getting in there ourselves. But those are the two captain's extra cabins. He's not so very keen on telling anybody what's in there or showing anybody either. Honestly, I've been on the ship for about 3 years myself, and I still don't know what's in the rooms. Best
Really?
not to anger the captain, as I like to say,
Right,
so
yeah.
I'll just keep my nose where it belongs.
Oh, bastard has his secrets. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Not a problem. And he turns back around and heads back up.
Cassandra's gonna break one of the locks on the leftmost door.
Okay, yeah. Roll me. What am I gonna have you roll for this? Are you just trying to strength break the lock? Do you have anything that you're using to jimmy it? How are you trying to break it?
I don't have lockpick tools. If I could try and jimmy it with like a crossbow bolt, I will.
Okay. Are you trying to do this
discretion.
stealthily as well, or are you just straight out doing it?
I mean, I'll wait until the fellow ascends the stairs, but Cassandra's not a very stealthy person. She doesn't care that much.
Okay, yeah, no, then it will be a straight strength check.
Okay, awesome. And she's not great at those. Let's see here. Those. Natural 20. I apparently am rolling quite well tonight.
I know everybody's rolling really well.
That's like your fourth or fifth nat 20,
Yes.
on both sides,
it's,
right?
Yeah, we're on fire
touch
today.
Ridiculous.
So yeah, with that, you precariously wait for the right moment where the deckhand kind of turns the corner and you feel like you are in a good enough spot, and you just grab onto it, and with a twist and a flick, you give it all of your might and you tear the entire locking mechanism off of the door. You just tear it straight out.
Awesome.
So now there's a little tiny hole poking into it, and the door kind of just very simply eases open, and just enough.
I'll push into the room.
And as you push into the room, give me a perception check.
All right.
Does Cassandra have any dark vision? Because it is pretty dark down here. Not super dark, but dim
She
light.
does not, because she
Okay.
is a human. But she will try and give herself thinking back to what Eva did. She'll cast Prestidigitation and just make a small shower of sparks out of the hand
Cool.
to sort of give her dim sparkler lighting July
Yeah.
the 4th.
Cool.
And you said Perception.
Mm-hmm.
18.
Cool, yeah. With that perception check and that prestidigitation, it gives you just enough of an inkling to see that this is an armory inside of the ship. There are all along the walls different arms between battle axes, maces, short swords, long swords, crossbows, ammunition of all types. And it is so neatly placed. It's almost scary neat. And it's just the entire room, all these little shelving units for all these different types of armaments. And then there's just a simple table with one chair in the middle of the room.
Do any of the armaments have a layer of dust, or do they look well kept /
Some of
recently
them-
used?
Some of them look like they've been sitting for a while. You can kind of see the outlining of the dust on the wall and where the sun has hit it, and it has that kind of discoloration on the wood. But some of them, there are a couple positions, or there are a couple pieces on the walls that are missing. There are a couple that kind of look off kilter, maybe they had just been set down or picked up. But it does look like there has been somebody in here fairly recently, but not terribly recently.
Sandra will just sort of like narrow her eyes. She'll just exit the room, sort of close it, and then realize the lock's broken, and just kind of like hang it in the hole that she made. Like walk away very quickly, back up the stairs.
Roll me a deception check to see how
joy.
well you can put that lock back on that door to make it not look conspicuous.
It's about what it should be.
Okay, yeah. You're confident. It looks okay. If somebody was to walk past it, maybe they wouldn't notice, maybe they would, but it's neither here nor there to Cassandra. She is just going to keep on keeping on.
Yep.
And you walk back up?
Yes.
Cool.
I do.
And at this moment, I'll flip back to Finny and Eva, who are sitting in with Captain Jurin in his quarters. So, you got a lot of questions for some people that don't seem to belong together, and he kind of just like gives you one of those.
Oh, well, you know, travel makes for strange bedfellows.
And Eva's gonna start like creepily like putting her arm around Finny at this point. Like, yes, together.
My cohort and I just got into port, and the commotion on the docks set off quite the stir. And I'm just idly curious.
I mean, there's a lot to be curious about, especially in these parts. Seems like things have been going awry a little bit too often lately. Never know when something can happen. And he kind of like gives you an eyebrow.
Interesting. So you're saying that these occurrences have been happening more often lately, because the Harbor Master seemed to think that this is quite the rare occasion.
The Harbor Master is a dimwit. A man can't even keep his ledger straight. But, no, things, not displacer beasts, not cargo that goes unnamed and unchecked. That's petty. No, it's been bigger. Some things have just been off. Like, everything, the air itself just doesn't feel right. I don't know how to describe it, besides it just feels a whole lot different lately.
Like an ill wind?
Yeah, I would say very much like an ill wind.
Interesting.
How did you get the beast to be so calm? How is it just sitting there? What's wrong with it?
Oh,
Why would it be on my ship?
it seems to be quite ill. Moss growing on it. A little bit of a. I haven't had quite the chance to check
You
it
really
medically.
You should really take better care of your pets.
Yes, what she said, of course.
If I was gonna get a pet, Missy, it would not be one of those beasts, I could tell you that.
You take that back.
No, I shall not. He gives you another eyebrow.
It's okay, Miss Umberball. Different people have different ways of doing things, and different tastes and pets, it seems. More to the point, you say you know nothing about who this could possibly have put this on your ship. Very interesting that something seems to be amiss here. But I do thank you for your time.
Of course, I mean, I don't deal in exotic animals, but if you check around the docks, maybe there's somebody who knows of somebody who has dealings with exotic animals. Like I said, it could just be the Harbor Master screwing up his ledger again, and it meant to go to a different ship. But yeah, I'm not too sure why it would have been on mine. I do hope you the best, though. Hopefully that beast doesn't kill ya.
I'll flip him a gold coin for his troubles.
He'll take it and bite on it, put it in his breast pocket, and like wink at you, and like send you on your way. Kind of give you one of those motions.
Can I just do another follow-up quick insight check just to see if I think he might be steering me right or steering me wrong?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. So you definitely get the sense that he knows the names of people. Like, he seems like he has definitely been around here enough where he could give you those names, but he just pretty much doesn't want to do it. He's very keenly looking at you, concerned that you could be some sort of government political figure, somebody that he doesn't want to get wrapped up with. So he's keeping his distance and trying to tell you half-truths.
Sir, I assure you, we literally just got in on, I would know the name of the ship that we just got in on, correct?
Yes, the
Obviously, I
ship's
was on it for 2
name.
weeks.
Yeah, the ship's name is Row After Row.
We literally just got in on row after row. So I can assure you that we have nothing to do with any sort of people that could get you in any sort of trouble. I quite understand that business is business.
Business is business. If there's anything else you need, I will be in my quarters.
Yes. You were saying that there are people that maybe deal in exotic animals?
There's a couple of them. Their ships come maybe about once a month, twice if they find themselves lucky. There might be one on the farther end of the dock at the moment, but I don't know if they're here, and I can't really tell you if they are. Like I said, I have not left my quarters since this morning, so I haven't even checked in with the harbor master myself.
I thank you for your time.
Of course.
Didn't want to accept the pet. How could you not accept responsibility for your pet? Once you get a pet, they are part of you for life. You look after them through thick and thin. They are family. How would you just abandon it like that? How could you say that you wouldn't? And she just keeps going on a big ramble tangent.
Yes, Miss Amelbar, I quite agree.
And
Sort of patting Eva on the back as we move along.
And
So-
another thing.
at this point, Cassandra, you will probably be coming up as they are walking out, and all three of you are meeting on top of the ship's deck. Very quickly, Barry, how is it going over there with our little beastly friend?
I think I've switched at one point from making biscuits to trying to clean off some of this moss.
Stuff.
Yeah. I licked it once though. I'm not doing that again. I'm prestidigitating now.
Yeah, so when you lick it, you definitely it's one of those where you just get the tip of your tongue, and immediately as it creates contact, it has a little singeing, acidic taste to it, and you're like, no. So you go back to prestidigitation and making biscuits, and
You telling
it's
me?
coming.
Are you telling me that it's moss stuff tastes like vomit bean boozled?
Pretty much.
That acidity, yeah.
Yeah, it has that immediate on your taste buds is immediately starts to singe them.
Ugh.
And yeah, so it's the fur is coming off in clumps as you're trying to clean it, as you're trying to move through it. It's not really working very well. It's just kind of clumping and coming off in this black, ichory, gross mess, and you more kind of flick it down, and as you flick it down, it hits somebody walking by in the eye, and they're like, oh god, look down at you and move past.
Hope they've got their tetanus shot.
And as we move back to the three on the ship, what are you all doing on the deck?
And how was the captain?
Very
Don't get me
cooperative.
started.
He's hiding things. That much is clear. Shall we walk and talk?
Yes.
Back towards Barry. Something's not sitting right. That cargo shouldn't have broken. The displacer beast wasn't nearly heavy enough to break that crane. Perhaps it was
On
tampered
top
with?
of that, why does a fishing ship have a full armory built into it?
Yes, I get the sense that the captain doesn't merely deal in cockles and mussels. It seems he's a little bit cagey when it comes to the truth. I'm going to approach the displacer beast again, and I'm going to try and do a cure wounds on it, just first level.
Yeah.
Just to sort of try and get it like a little bit more stable. I'll just do a first level.
I'll take a look at Barry and just go. Did you have fun?
I don't want to talk about it.
That means yes.
Come now, Barry.
And as we all kind of come back together by this displacer beast, are you leaving the beast? Are you taking it with you? Are you sitting? What are we doing as of now?
I'd like to find a good place for this. I'd rather not leave it here on the dock, if that's all right.
Take it with us. Take us with us. Take it with us. Take it with us.
I mean, I did happen to learn about the fish hammock. I imagine it probably has a stable. We could claim its amount.
And I can definitely do a thorough. I can thoroughly check its health in a more secure location.
Tavern.
Cassandra.
Tavern.
Cassandra will sort of
And I could definitely do for a
slough
drink.
squat, and she'll say, "Displacers beasts are wildly dangerous. They're not pets. They're abyssal creatures.
Oh, I'm
So
more
what are you
than
naming
aware.
it?" Ava,
Ava, what would
what
you
are
like
you
to
naming
name?
it?
It's gonna take me a bit. I've never been a speedy songwriter.
What about Slick?
That's a good name.
Well, it is quite oily.
Maybe ink. Inky.
Inky?
It's gonna take me a bit. We will come up with a good name for you. And she'll hold it up to her eyes and just like, who are you?
Cassandra will sort of scritch under the chin, but like not make eye contact because she's trying to look cool. And she'll stand and go, "All right, let's go."
Now,
Right.
if her directions are accurate, then it'll be over this way.
And as you walk, you'll come by that sign, that like big wooden sign with all the arrows attached to it. And you, Barry, discern that one of the arrows does have two pictures. One looks like a fish, one looks like a hammock, and one looks like a mug of beer. Points in the direction that the woman had told you. And as
Yes. Everything seems to be in order.
And as you walk around and follow her directions, you do find this small little alleyway, and there is a door. And on the front of the door, it says the Fish Hammock Inn. Go inside. And as you go inside, oh, hold on, I gotta get my other book.
I'll wait outside with the new pet, because I'm sure bringing a displacer beast into the inn would be quite frowned upon.
Cassandra will wait with Vinny.
Cool. Ava, do you go inside, or is it just Barry?
I'll go inside with Barry.
Cool. So as you two walk in, you see the sign right above the door that says the Fish Hammock Inn, and as you walk in, it has, it's seen better days. It is very old. It is very musky in here. The smell of fish is everywhere. And it smells like stale beer. There's like this stench of just fish and stale beer that is so prominent to your nostrils, to both of you, especially both of you, that it's a little bit overwhelming as you walk inside. But there is there are a bunch of windows that line the side of it, and you do see this nice little open circular portcullis in the back that is shining this beautiful light in, and you can see that how it illuminates the room. The room looks like it has this like seafoam green-esque vibe to it through this stained glass window in the back. There is about 10 tables. It is a pretty larger inn. You can see that as you walk inside, it is the main floor with a bar in the back with 10 tables in the main foyer area, and then 2 large staircases that ascend to the second level, and that's where you can see all of the rooms. You see about 10 rooms.
Ooh. And do we see the barkeep, sorry?
Yep. In the back, there is a barkeep
Yeah.
at the bar.
I will stroll up with many a flourish and a billow of cloak.
And it is a small statured woman. She is human, just average human, but she's small and petite. She looks at you with long brown hair and blue eyes and a smile and says, "Is there anything I could get you today?"
Ava also walked up with the same flair, feeling the extra energy. She's like, okay, extra energy.
Always extra energy, always.
Oh,
Good lady!
Purse first.
Yes, good lady. You are among the luckiest people in the city.
oh, is that right?
It
Yes,
is
Why would that
frightfully
be?
true.
yes indeed. A patron of yours recommended this place for a once-in-a-lifetime show. I will
Oh,
put on a show. You may have already have heard of my exploits on the dock.
wait, are you the folks that saved the doc from that beast?
The very same.
The very
Barry!
same.
Baza, the magician.
And she kind of like looks like with wide eyes, and she kind of like looks around, and you see a gentleman at this point come from a corner behind the bar, and older gentleman, human as well, bald but has a very very long beard, a little husky himself, but he's also tall and a little bit lanky. And he comes around, and she looks at him and says, Papa, these are the people that saved the ducks. And he walks over and kind of like puts his hands in the bar and looks at you all and kind of gives you an up and down and just goes, just the two of you? Just the two
No,
of you
not
saved
just
whole
the two
dock.
of us. You're not just the two of us. Our friends wait outside with our trusty steed. Now, good sir, your bar has been nominated by one of your very patrons to host our once-in-a-lifetime show. All I need is two rooms and space in the stable for my for our trusty steed, and we will gift you a room full of patrons this evening coming to see the show, a display of fine tricks, and I'll pour some fire out of my hands, sort of like the
Like Salt Bay?
yeah.
And it will only cost 10% of the profits for this evening.
He he looks at you wide eyed, like how, like you must be some smart people to offer this. And he looks at you and he kind of gives his daughter a look, and she like is like super excited. You can see her; she's just like super stoked to be like in the presence of people that she claims as heroes. And he kind of like looks back at you and says, "All right, if you bring me a whole bar full of patrons tonight, I'll cover the cost of your room for 2 nights. Fair?"
We also get to have a tip jar out.
You have a tip jar out, separate from our tip jar.
And does that include
Okay.
bed and board?
If you bring me a whole bar full of people, room and board, and food on me, you buy your own ale.
Totally fair. Food for our mount as well?
Depending if your mount eats anything we offer here, then absolutely.
Close enough. Excellent! Yes, you can be guaranteed to have a room full of patrons tonight.
He turns behind him, grabs 2 of the keys, and slams them down. Says, "No bar patrons means you pay full price. You bring me a full room of patrons." And
You
then he
need
walks
not-
off. And the little girl's still standing there, and she's like, "You do magic?"
Shh, child. Leave it for this evening.
Oh, okay.
I'll tell you what, though. Take me to the roof.
Oh god.
Okay. Okay. And she like looks like where her dad came from and back at you, and she ducks under the bar and is now like standing in front of you, and she says, "Okay, come with me, and she'll take your hand and lead you up into where all the rooms are. There is one door that is like an exit, like another staircase that goes up into a little attic space, and then there is a window that goes out to the roof.
Oh, whoops.
While this is going on, Cass will turn to Finny and go, "So what's the over-under that they burn the whole place down before we walk in?"
Oh, Barris magic is wholly ineffectual. But, betcha you
Wow.
won't.
I'm slain.
You see, that's hot. That's a hot
High
room.
insight.
Wow.
Insight.
My passive insight is probably the same as my passive perception, which would be an 18.
Yeah, your passive insight definitely has picked up on the fact that most of his magic is illusionary.
Oh yes.
Yeah, most.
You are seen. You are seen, my friend.
That's all
So,
Cass wanted to say.
Eva, what are you doing as Barry is being pulled up to the roof by a small child?
She's going to go up with them because I have a feeling that Barry's about to do a nice little display on the roof. I might need a little bit of enthralling to go on.
Yeah, absolutely. So you follow them up, and before you know it, as you are, because you followed behind a couple steps, so as you are kind of coming around the corner and following them up that second staircase into like this little attic crawl space, you do see that this little girl is like now opening this giant circular window in the front of the establishment to let Barry go out onto the roof.
Okay. Yeah. She's following onto the roof for
Okay.
sure.
Barry, you now have an open window and can step out onto the roof whenever you so choose.
Fantastic. I will go and stand, of course, on one of the corners of the roof so that my cloak billows in the most effectual way.
Now, are you just standing there precariously with a billowing cloak on the roof of this establishment?
No.
In fact, Eva will stand in front of him and cast Enthrall, basically causing creatures within the 60 feet of range that can hear me. They have to make a wisdom saving throw or they'll be completely charmed.
Okay, I'm just gonna roll 1. And with a natural 2, I think everyone is charmed. My rolls have been the
excellent.
opposite of everybody today, so it's
true.
worked out in your favor. But yeah, everybody, and there is a decent amount. It is a smaller little alleyway, but you do see enough people that can see you from your stature that are now enthralled by you, and they are charmed and staring effortlessly, waiting, begging for you to do something.
All right, yeah, I think she will, she'll start doing the, like, my lords, my ladies, and everyone else here not sitting on a cushion. Today you find yourselves equals. You get the idea. And she goes into this whole thing of like presenting the incredible, the masterful, the magical, the whimsical, and the oh so pleasurable Baza the Magician. And again, sparks as hopefully he's billowing by now.
As soon as she hears my lords, my ladies, Cassandra goes, what in the nines? And she'll sort of just like look up and just like face just smeared by hand and just watch.
Would we be in the 60-foot range as well?
You would, and I was just gonna say you can either roll, or for the sake of the purpose of what they were looking to do, you can choose not to include them in your charm, or you can, and they will have to roll. That's totally up to you, Eva.
I kind of like to roll.
Yeah, absolutely. By all means, if you want to see if you are also charmed by this, please do.
Wisdom, right?
Yes. What do they have to be?
Another natural 20.
Oh my goodness.
Squaw.
I am unreal tonight.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Like, I started off by saying my dice rolls are on fire, and you've just taken that and turned it up to 11.
Yeah.
Cassandra is just too curmudgeon to be enthralled by this. She's just like,
Does
the
Finny
saving throw?
succeed? Yeah, does Finny succeed with a 13?
What is the saving throw for Ava?
If I'm not mistaken, Ava's saving throw is 14.
Finny is just
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
amazing.
So
You're
what-
like there. You're like half entranced. You're like you see them and you're like, oh wow, now I get it. Now I get it. But you also have your own bearings. Like you're not super charmed, but you are like feeling the energy that they're giving off. They're giving.
I do
a
have
show right now.
advantage on saving throws versus charm because of my Fey ancestry. So
Yeah.
it would be a 16.
Oh yes, that's
that's
right.
true.
That's right. You are an elf.
I am a full elf.
Roll again.
Well, if I go with the second roll,
with
then
the
it's a
16. Oh yeah, that's right. You do. You both. Everyone's rolling those special roll ways. Yeah, with the 16, then like you just look and you're like, oh, that's funny.
Yeah. It looks like they're attracting a crowd for us. Perhaps they're going to be singing for their supper tonight?
2 gold says he falls.
You're on.
Barry, what are you doing? What are you doing on this rooftop?
Well, whilst Eva is giving this speech, I'm going to thrust my hand upward in the most mercurial of poses and cast Major Image. I want it to be a 20-foot cube, exactly 20-foot cube that says Fish Hammock Big Show Tonight Only, blazoned in fire, rotating in the sky. Each face says that in fire above the with an arrow pointing down. Oh, and since we get sound of a major illusion as well, let's have some trumpets. Yeah, chuck some trumpets in there.
Absolutely. So not only do all of the people within the 60-foot radius who are enthralled by you see this and just like, it is like the most incredible thing to these people. You are blowing their minds. They are screaming. They are like, it's like you are the Beatles. And these people are just going insane over you. And they're like, oh, like you see women going to grab their friends and be like, look, we gotta go to the show. You see the little kids like all banding together and like, the show. And you see like even like men like hugging other men and getting their friends. Everyone is like trying to be like, oh, look at the show. Oh, there's a show. Oh my goodness, we gotta go. And you you are definitely going to attract very many people to this establishment this evening. How long does the sign last for?
That will last for 10 minutes. 10 minutes, so long as I concentrate on it, which I shall.
All right. Then yeah, for the next 10 minutes, you hear just a whole hubbub going on around this part of the city. You, Cassandra, and Finny will hear people like whispering in the streets as they walk by and just being like, "Oh, so are you going to the hammock for the show tonight? Oh my goodness. I don't know what it is, but it's going to be so great. I'm so excited." You just hear these people like bustling past you, like trying to get home to change to come back out for this show.
Relatable.
And as this goes on, Eva and Barry, are we staying out on the roof for the 10 minutes? Are we just basking in the glory? Or what are we up to?
Is he giving a preview of like the magic to come?
I mean, I guess so. You could do. I have a try a hand at juggling. I'm gonna take 3 flaming rods and juggle them.
Give me a performance check. And are these ones actually on fire, or is it also illusionary fire?
It's fairly safe to say that whenever Barry is handling fire, it's not fire.
Okay. Cool.
Eva will be playing like, dramatic music in the background to try and help him, which hopefully will hopefully also give him a bit of bardic inspiration.
Oh,
Yeah,
how much is your bardic inspiration?
Like the
at level 5,
1d8.
it is
Yeah.
Yes, it is a d8.
Just turn that 11 into an 18.
Hey,
Nice.
absolutely.
Very
So you
nice.
go like, so before Eva starts playing, like you start juggling, and then you kind of like find yourself slipping on the roof for a second, and as she starts playing, you feel yourself get caught back up in the wind of everything, which keeps your motion going, and everything starts to like, you're throwing them higher in the air, you're throwing them a little wider than you're used to. Like it is a spectacular performance, and the people below that are still enthralled by you all are just clapping and shouting and grabbing anybody in the vicinity and whisking them to you and saying, like, look at this, this is incredible. And you are giving them a flamin' juggling show. And once again, Finny and Cassandra, you see this from below, and you see everybody enthralled, and you are just there. You are just existing in the space.
Cass will sort of like and hand Finny the 2 gold as like
Thank
the
you.
show concludes. Like if he's not gonna fall doing this like these ballerina twirls, like he's not gonna fall.
And at this point, the little girl that was helping Barry is now back down. Like she's crawled back out the window. She never went out onto the roof. So she's crawled back downstairs and actually came outside to watch what was going on, and sees you both outside of the door just precariously looking up. And she goes, "Oh, do you know them? Aren't they great?"
They are magical indeed. We are, yes, with them. Would you happen to be a member of the
Establishment.
establishment?
Yeah,
Perhaps?
this is my dad. My dad owns this place, and I help him sometimes. And your friends came inside, and they said that you needed help going to the stables. Do you need help to the
Yes.
stables?
Absolutely. That would be lovely.
Is this? And she like turns to look to see like what your pet is, and sees the beast, and it's just like, oh, like, is that what attacked everybody at the dock?
Yes, but he's quite tame now.
Oh, and you're gonna keep that in the stable?
Well, hopefully away from the other animals. If there's
Nah,
one that's a
well-
little bit further away and more secure, that would be lovely.
I mean, we only have our horse in the stable right now. Most people that come are just from the boat, so they don't have anything that they bring. So yeah, I could probably find you one a little bit away from the horse. Hopefully, yeah. I think I can
would
do
be
that.
excellent.
And she just starts like walking around the building.
It's called the fish hammock, yes?
Yeah, that's this place.
Do you happen to have any fish that's just about to go off? Perhaps to feed this fine beast.
Yeah, I could probably sneak you something from the kitchen.
Excellent.
Don't worry, I'll be back. Okay, how about I go get the food and you go to the stable? It's just around the corner and to the left. There's a little door, it slides open, should be big enough for that thing.
Yes, thank you very
I
much.
think we can handle that.
And she'll run back inside and give you the direction. So it's just right around the building, and to the left there's like a separate little building that has one of those like pull open barn doors on the side of it.
Gonna get some kitty num-nums and
So yeah. So as you open it, you do find that there's 6 stalls, like stable stalls, and they're pretty large. They are for like a large sized horse. So their horse is in the front left one as you go in. So if you go all the way to the back corner, you can either go to the left one or the right one. But there are 2 open ones in the back corner. And she'll come as you're putting the displacer beast into one of them. She will come with like a makeshift pail of like rotten fish and just like fish parts and just things that she didn't know what they would eat, but maybe just gathered everything that she could that looked like it was rotten and gross, put it in a bucket, and she's like walking, I think I got enough, and like just like drops it in the floor, and it kind of like does the and then like
slosh.
overfills. Yeah, it does like that
Oh.
floppy goop noise and falls over the sides, and you can absolutely immediately smell just rotten fish. I don't like it either. Just take it. I'm gonna go back inside. Okay, bye. And she like turns around, runs back, and is gone, and just leaves you in the stable with this pile of rotten fish and your displacer beast.
Gonna make a constitution check, please.
Absolutely. Nope.
I find
you're not
another empty stall and I hurl.
Yep. Yep. And as this is all happening,
By the
how is
nines.
Cassandra doing?
I will just begin to just like slop ground, and I'll loosen the muzzle and sort of like put it down to where it's like tucked under the chin, not completely undone. And as I like offer it some, I'll use prestidigitation to like try and mask the odor a bit, so it's not so in your
Pungent.
face. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, you successfully do that, and as you lift off the muzzle, you actually see bits of the flesh coming off with it. It doesn't seem like the beast is in pain because of it, but it is a little unsightly. And as you take it off and kind of put it under its chin, you hear that it starts to purr and starts to relax a little bit, and the tense muscles kind of ease, and especially as it's now kind of chewing on this rotten food, it is a little bit happier and more content.
As it eats, I'll scritch behind the ears and just go, poor bastard.
Yeah, and it becomes friendly with you very, very quickly. It very much enjoys the head scratches and behind the ear scratches.
These creatures are typically ill-tempered in
some-
nature. This one's
right,
quite docile.
Just right here. Got a little swipe.
Oh, yes. Sorry. Thank you.
Yes, they're usually a bit more aggressive, but even its displacing ability seems off.
Yes, I think I'm going to attempt to suss out its condition. I did detect that there was a bit of a disease within it, but I'm unable to perform any ministrations today. Can I make a medicine check?
Yeah, just like a general medicine check to see if
General,
there's
like-
any. Yeah,
Is there
Absolutely.
anything that I can do in the interim?
for sure. Yeah.
I'm-
With a 15, you get this sense, like, you look over this beast and you look at the parts where the mange is coming off and the coat is slicky and slimy, and you see parts of its face where it's actually the flesh is deteriorating and you're starting to see some bone. and some muscle underneath. And although it looks insanely awful, the beast does not seem to be in pain. It's not outwardly showing as you touch over it that there is something wrong with it, almost as if it's not registering it to itself that it's in pain. There seems to be a disconnect between what the body is doing and how the beast is acting.
It's quite interesting. Yes, it doesn't seem to be feeling any pain, but it's quite unwell. Very interesting.
Obviously.
I
wonder if it's
with that medicine check,
unwinding.
would I have detected a pulse?
Yeah, there is a pulse. It is faint and it is fluttering, almost like a murmur, like a heart murmur, but it does have a pulse.
Heartbeats. It's not some kind of undeath.
I wonder if it's unwinding. Cassandra will kind of like squint at the creature.
I'm going to throw another cure wounds into it.
Yeah, and as you cast Cure Wounds, there is all of a sudden this bright divine light that just automatically gets dispelled. Like, you cast Cure Wounds and the entire being just glows in this radiant yellow and white light for a moment until it kind of soothes back in, and you see that part of it, like part of the fur that was once mangy, seems to be a little less mangy.
Put some oomph into that one, huh?
Yes. Good to know she's still with me.
Who's she?
No one.
All right, let's go make sure the performers don't start the show without us.
And at this point,
I'll
are
get the first
Barry
round.
and Eva still performing on the rooftop? At this point, 10 minutes, the illusion would have probably dropped, at least at this point in time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've probably like finished. We wound it up probably by now and heading back inside, and just
Definitely.
like now then, if that doesn't cause a full tavern, I don't know what will.
And you know the best thing, Eva? Did you notice the wording the barkeep used? Anything we have on offer that our steed can eat. So it should save us from any accidents.
I like how you think.
Thank you.
Lots of
Thank you.
brain in that little hat of yours.
No, all in the head. The hat's just for money.
Just swag. Jeez.
Very much. Stella Luna for the raid. Welcome in, raiders. We're putting on a little show.
Well, luckily we got our bases covered, but hopefully our little pet pal shouldn't eat too much of the furniture.
And at this moment, Cassandra and Finny, you, I am assuming, are walking into the inn at this point, or are you both doing something before that?
No, I'll just say as we walk inside, first round's on me, which is going to be paid for with Cassandra's money.
Yeah, so at this point, both Barry and Eva are coming down the stairs as Cassandra and Finny are walking into the bar establishment. And you see both of you are conglomerating right in the center of the room. Are you going over to the bar, Finny, to get around first?
Yes.
Cool. It is the older gentleman. He looks at you and he says, I take it you're with them.
Yes. Quite.
All right. I don't know if they told you, but apparently the one with the very fancy hat has promised me an entire house full of patrons tonight. If we get a house full of patrons. Don't worry about the rooms and the food. It'll be on me. However, if your friend floops and there's nobody, you will have to pay full price. But all the
that's quite
ale
all right.
that you can drink is on your own tab.
Most generous of you.
Absolutely. It's the least I could do for a couple of heroes that saved the docks today. But I didn't get your friends' names, but and he holds out his hand. He goes, "My name is Alfred. If you need anything."
Finny, pleased to meet you. Barry is the performer, and Ava as well. And I believe that's Cassandra over there.
And he like kind of like waves past Finny and goes, "If you need anything, just let me know."
And I believe your lovely daughter helped us out. What was her name again?
Little Solsta. That's my daughter. She's about 13.
Oh, well, she's an excellent help.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I've raised her myself, so it's good to know that she's doing well.
Yes, you have raised a lovely daughter.
And he turns around and gives you the 4 mugs of ale, sets them down for you. Do you want to pay as you go, or do you want me to start your tab?
Oh no, I'll put it down right now. How much is it for the ale?
For all 4, it'll be a gold piece.
Thank you very much.
Not a problem. And he goes back to washing mugs.
I'll bring the ale over to the table.
Well, if that was anything, it was captivating. Looking at the 2 rapscallions.
Just how I like my audience.
We aim to entertain.
Cassandra's
This seems
sort of
like a Jesse and James thing.
Yes, very
Yes.
quickly, and I love it. Cassandra will like.
We have a
sort of-
Meowth!
Oh my gosh.
Quick, this is now a Pokemon D&D story. No, that'd be so funny. Oh goodness, I love it. I love it so much.
Cassandra will sort of smirk beside herself and just like shake her head and look at you, Finny, and say, "You're the smart one, right?"
Modestly intelligent, I suppose.
Have you ever heard of something called the unwinding clock?
Would I have heard of something called the unwinding clock?
You can either make me a history or an arcana check.
I'm better at Arcana.
Cool. Okay, with that roll, you have faintly heard of a thing called the unwinding clock. It is more so in your readings understood and portrayed as a symbol without a deep context. People aren't sure if it's an actual item or a person or a place, but there is lore surrounding the term the unwinding clock. And basically, its portrayal of being able to consume or expel time.
Some sort of entity able to consume or expel time, as far as I know. I haven't read much into it, but I can do more research. I have books.
If you didn't mind, that'd be a bit helpful.
Definitely. Might take a bit of the evening, but something I can do. And he'll start reaching into the bag of holding for bringing out just stacks of books.
Oh, okay.
Hermione Grangered this.
Yeah, and Cassandra will like pick up Finny's drink and hers to like make room for the slowly growing.
Oh, I think this one might have
book
something.
mountain.
Put a few back.
Well,
And yeah, I'm gonna start doing research, I guess. That's what I
Ink
do.
is well taken care of at the moment. I'm gonna try and get my alchemist supplies properly set up, get a better look at whatever this is that's all over them.
Absolutely, yeah. Are you getting those supplies out on the table, or are you preferably trying to go up to your room?
I would have went up to my room because I believe that Cassandra's privy to the alchemy being kind of in these parts.
Yeah.
So-
Absolutely. So, you take one of the keys from Barry and head upstairs. You have both of the rooms on the right side of the stairwell. They are up in the last two doors on your right. So it's all the way in the corner of the hall. Those are those two rooms that you both have. You take one of the keys, find which door unlocks, go in, set up your alchemist supplies, and start to kind of sit down and try to suss out what this vial is containing. What is everybody else doing at this moment?
Barry's got his nose, or Finney's got his nose in a book.
Okay. Are you sitting at the table in the main corridor area?
Yes.
Okay. And what is Barry and Eva doing?
Setting up for tonight, I guess.
Yeah, probably like coming up with some sort of actually like, okay, so we'll do this and then this and then this and like follow it up with like a this and then because for Eva as well with things like the prestidigitation, she can do the classical like flowers out from behind the sleeve like thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or like, look, the dove flies out from the hat.
Perfect. Yep. Yeah. Alrighty. So as everybody is Barry doing something specific for this?
Well, I was thinking Barry would suggest setting Eva on fire at some point.
You know, I'm down for it.
I love it. So as you are all
while I do a rocking
getting
guitar
ready,
solo. Or lute solo.
A literal
Imagine-
face melter.
yeah, I imagine you're also like kind of organizing the tables into like, because there's no stage area. So I imagine you're like trying to like organize the environment to suit your needs around Finney, who is staying at the table sitting like with his book. So as everybody is doing this and Cassandra is up in the room at the moment, we are going to close our session out here and pick up next time with the craziness that will ensue with this performance and what Cassandra and Finney can figure out with their little researching checks. But yeah, that concludes our first session of Routing Shadows,
Yay.
everybody.
Oh my goodness, so good.
I will never roll this well again in my life.
Yeah, savor that.
Have you counted up how many nat 20s you rolled?
I think it was 5.
Oof.
That's amazing.
It's a
Dang.
little ridiculous.
Amazing.
Well, everyone, thank you very much for coming along to this show today. We do have credits. We'll be outroing with some credits. Make sure you go and check out all of the handles of these people around the screens. They are amazing, and you should go and check out all of their stuff. We're going to go on a raid. We're going to go on a raid to someone who was mentioned earlier in our intros, who is, yes, they're still live currently. But thank you very much for coming along, everyone. Check out our social links. Check out our sponsors, the Deck of Many, Mageham Press, and Hero Forge, the Deck of Many, who create these wonderful flashcards. I've drawn this up. I haven't drawn the skull for a long time. Why would I say that? Also, Mageham Press, who Dark Matter is now available from Diamond Publishers, so you can get them in your local game store, and Hero Forge for all of your miniature needs, with full color coming. With full color coming soon. Yes. Until next time, everyone. Keep on evoking emotions. Bye.